Before Beyoncé, before Rihanna, there was Janet. A woman who broke free from a famous last name, turned whispers into chart-topping anthems, and danced her way into music history with discipline, power, and control. But behind the glam, the fame, and the controversy, who really is Janet Jackson? From secret marriages to billion-dollar whispers, and from child star to cultural icon. This is the untold story of the quietest Jackson with the loudest legacy. Stick around, you're about to meet Janet like never before. Janet Jackson, early life, background, and education. Janet Damita Jo Jackson, born on May 16, 1966 in Gary, Indiana, USA. Early life and family background. Janet Jackson was born into the famous Jackson family, the youngest of 10 siblings. Her parents were Catherine Jackson, née Spruce, a devout Jehovah's Witness and homemaker, and Joseph, Joe, Jackson, a former boxer and steelworker who became the manager of the Jackson family's musical careers. Her siblings include Michael Jackson, the King of Pop, and members of the Jackson 5, Jackie, Tito, Jermaine, Marlon, and Michael, who achieved massive success in the late 1960s and early 1970s. The family was deeply involved in music, and from a young age, Janet was exposed to show business. Though Janet initially had no intention of pursuing a musical career, her environment and family influence eventually drew her into entertainment. Childhood and upbringing. Raised in Gary, Indiana, Janet's early childhood was shaped by her family's rise to fame. By the time she was a young child, her older brothers were international stars. In the early 1970s, the family relocated to Encino, California, to support the Jacksons' music careers. The Jackson household was known for its strict discipline, particularly from their father Joe, who ran the family like a business. Education. Janet attended public school in Los Angeles during her early years. She later went to Valley Professional School, a private school in California known for accommodating the schedules of child performers. Despite being surrounded by fame, Janet had a relatively normal education and upbringing, particularly compared to her older siblings who entered show business at a much younger age. Entry into entertainment. Janet's first public performance was at age 7 at the MGM Casino in Las Vegas, alongside her brothers. She began acting in the late 1970s and early 1980s, appearing in popular television shows like Good Times, as Penny Gordon Woods, Different Strokes. Fame. Her acting career laid the foundation for her later success in music, which fully took off in the mid-1980s. Janet Jackson. Career in detail. Breakthrough and rise. 1980-1986. Janet first appeared as a child actor and in television, e.g. Good Times and Fame, before making her recording debut. Her first two studio albums, Janet Jackson 1982 and Dream Street 1984, had modest success. She was still under considerable influence, management, control by her father and early production teams. Artistic independence and massive success. Control and Rhythm Nation 1814. In 1986, with Control, Janet began fully owning her artistry. She collaborated with Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, moving into dance pop, R&B, funk with strong rhythms. Control produced hits like What Have You Done For Me Lately, Nasty, and Control. It marked a turning point, establishing her as a star in her own right. In 1989, Janet Jackson's Rhythm Nation 1814 further solidified her status. It had strong themes of social justice, unity, and personal strength. Songs like Miss You Much, Rhythm Nation, Escapade, Love Will Never Do Without You became big hits. The album had multiple singles that reached the top 10. The Rhythm Nation World Tour 1990 supported that album. It was her first large headlining tour. Broadening her image and sound, Janet, The Velvet Rope. In 1993, she released Janet, an album that showed more sensuality, more mature themes, intimacy, relationships, and diversified musical styles. It was commercially successful. The lead single, That's the Way Love Goes, was particularly big. Around the same time, she also began her film acting more seriously, including Poetic Justice 1993 with Tupac Shakur. Her song, Again, from that soundtrack was nominated for Best Original Song. In 1997 she released The Velvet Rope, a more introspective album. Themes included self-worth, depression, sexuality, vulnerability. It is often considered among her artistic peaks. 2000s. Commercial peaks, controversies and later music. In 2001, All For You came out. The title track was a big success, among her biggest. All For You was #1 and stayed long on the charts. There was a major controversy in 2004 during the Super Bowl halftime show with Justin Timberlake, the wardrobe malfunction. It had large implications in terms of media, broadcast standards, her visibility, and public political reaction. Albums such as Damita Jo 2004, 20YO 2006, and Discipline 2008 followed. Their reception was mixed. While she retained her fan base and had some hits, these albums didn't quite reach the same critical, cultural heights as Control, Rhythm Nation, Janet, or The Velvet Rope. Comeback in recent years. In 2015, Unbreakable came out. It was promoted as something of a comeback. The sound included more contemporary electronic elements while retaining her signature vocals and R&B dance style. Tours and concerts. She has done many world tours. Rhythm Nation World Tour 1990 Janet. World Tour 1993-95, The Velvet Rope Tour 1998-99, and later ones like Together Again Tour. Recognition and honors. Inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame 2019. Acting and other ventures. Aside from music, she has acted in films such as Poetic Justice 1993, Why Did I Get Married? 2007, and its sequel Why Did I Get Married Too? 2010 for Colored Girls 2010. Also her work includes film soundtracks, music videos that are elaborate and influential, stage shows, TV appearances, etc. Her visuals, choreography, and fashion have had broad influence. Influence, legacy and challenges. Janet Jackson is widely recognized not just for her hit songs but for shaping modern pop, R&B in terms of combining dance, social messaging, strong visuals, and control over her own artistry. She has sold over 100 million albums worldwide. She has faced controversies e.g., media backlash over the Super Bowl performance, issues of censorship, public and critical scrutiny, but has remained influential. Marriages, and family life. James DeBarge first marriage. Janet secretly married James DeBarge, a singer from the family R&B group DeBarge, when she was just 18 years old. The marriage was annulled in 1985, only a year later, due to instability and issues reportedly related to DeBarge's drug use. Years later, rumors persisted that they had a secret child together during that marriage, but Janet has consistently denied these claims. Renee Elizondo Jr. Second marriage. Marriage. Secretly married in 1991, not made public until their divorce. Divorce. 2000. Details. Renee was a dancer, songwriter, and director. He co-wrote several of her songs and directed many of her music videos. The relationship was very private. Their marriage was kept secret from the public for nearly a decade. He filed for divorce in 2000, citing irreconcilable differences. The divorce became public and was reportedly complicated financially, as Janet had become enormously wealthy. During the marriage, he later sued for spousal support and settled. Jermaine Dupri, long-term relationship. Duration. Early 2000s to approximately 2009. Janet dated Jermaine Dupri, a prominent music producer and rapper, for several years. Though they never married, they were very public and supportive of each other during their relationship. Many speculated that they were on the path to marriage, but the relationship ended around 2009. Despite the breakup, both have spoken positively about each other in later interviews. Wissam Al Mana, third marriage. Wissam Al Mana is a Qatari billionaire businessman. Janet and Wissam married in a quiet, private ceremony in 2012. She took a step back from public life during their relationship, converting to Islam and embracing a more private and modest lifestyle. Their relationship reportedly became strained over cultural differences and control issues. Child. Isa Al Mana. Janet gave birth to her first and only child, Isa, at age 50. She announced her pregnancy publicly in 2016, surprising many fans given her age and typically private personal life. After Ice's birth, she separated from Wissam just a few months later. Since then, she has focused on raising her son while balancing her music career. Current status: as of 2025, Janet Jackson is not publicly known to be in a relationship currently. She maintains a very private personal life, focusing on motherhood, selective performances, and projects including recent tours and a documentary. Would you like a timeline of these events, or more about her parenting and current lifestyle? Get smarter responses, upload files and images, and net worth. Janet Jackson's net worth at around $180 million United States dollars. Real estate and lifestyle, homes and locations. She has owned multiple high-end properties. A well-known condo in New York City, Central Park West, which she bought in 1998 for about $2.8 million United States dollars and sold in 2022 for about $8.08 minus $9 million. Janet also had a luxurious townhouse in Belgravia, London, Chester Square, bought around 2008. Reports suggest she and her son still spend time there. She owned a beach property in Malibu in the past, which she sold. How she lives. Janet is known to lead a relatively private life, especially in recent years, focusing on her son, family, and maintaining wellness. She has pulled back somewhat from the constant limelight. She enjoys driving, and has mentioned that driving helps clear her head. She once said that being driven everywhere was less satisfying than being behind the wheel herself. Her fashion style has evolved. In earlier years she often dressed in oversized clothes, darker tones, etc., to feel more secure about her body, but more recently she has spoken about body positivity and feeling more free in her skin. Business and revenue streams. Her income comes from multiple sources: music sales, touring, live performances, residencies like Las Vegas, acting, royalties, licensing, etc. She also sold many of her memorabilia and outfits via auctions, e.g. with Julian's Auctions, to raise capital or monetize past assets.